Good evening, everybody. I got a question to ask everybody, and this has been on my chest for almost over a year now. I don't understand why you single women in Decatur or Athens, Tennessee, why can't you guys come to the door? Why can't you text, call, so I can get to know you, send a pretty picture of you, so I can say, if you're pretty or if you're maybe we could chat and talk and get to know each other. I really want this. I don't know why you guys are texting my phone saying I don't want this unicorn bestie crap. I never said that. I don't know who's putting that through your fucking heads, but you're gonna get that out of your heads. I've been buying you guys beautiful stuff. I even gave you my real diamond ring that cost $800 that my husband bought me because he said he was trying to replace the one that crack core had because I gave her that one. I don't understand this. I'm not gonna wait until I'm on a cane or a walker or if I'm in the hospital and ICU when I'm 60, 80 years old for you guys to come. You need to come now. We're not waiting all these games. We're not waiting 100 years from now. I really want this. My husband really wants this. I keep asking him every day, is where is this coming? He always says, he bless his heart, he said he wanted it to be like what he drew up, you know. And he said it used to not be like this when uh how many years, honey? 12 years ago. And he said it was never this bad. Like now it's coming up the apps and cash apps and asking for money and cards and my husband drew it up like he wanted it like to be in the past. He's met people off the internet like people out of state and not out of state but somewhere closer in Decatur, few minutes from Decatur, and he's met me and Connie and Buzz Connie's family. Now she's gone. But I we just we my husband said it's like something we write on a piece of paper. He thought was good and bless his heart because he says he's always sorry for what he's that he thought would be really sweet and kind and loving to have something. And I do too. I feel the same way he does. Because, I'm a part of it. I know he's hurting inside, and I know that it's hard for men to show their emotions, but that's normal. Every guy does it. Every woman does it. We're all the same. But I want my corny, my unicorn bestie because, I want somebody beautiful and skinny and athletic and smart and beautiful and do fun things with small, cut up, dance, listen to music, color, watch the Braves games with, and go places, like bowling, shopping, that's and going to concerts. I've never been to concerts, and I've never been to Big Weenie. I never been there. I never got a chance to go there. I've been to Dollywood, as a kid, but not now. We don't have we are disabled, and I understand that some people don't understand that we're disabled. But when you come to our door and you get to know us like in person, it'll be better for you to understand than typing behind the phone or a computer. I just want something good for both of us and be able to get out of this household that we're in. Yes, we rent, we rent from Miss Profit now. Yes, you can't live in here, but we can find a place to go. If you come and we get along and we don't fuss and fight and argue, we'll find us a place. We'll go look for us a place. We'll let our landlord know, when that time is, when we want to move, all three of us. But the only thing I do usually is dishes and laundry and dress my baby dolls, and yes, I collect reborn dolls, and my husband likes to sing and I like to sing, and we like, my husband said, the only thing that we have is our dolls that don't fuss and fight with us. And they don't make a fuss. We sit here and watch the Braves games, or we talk to each other. We try to keep each other company. Or I'll go out and for walks. I'll go, around the block. Just get fresh air. You know, I just don't understand this. I mean, you guys won't come on here and chat. You guys say you have a YouTube page. And I see that. I see that a lot on Twitter. Ask my husband. He's seen that a lot on Twitter. And Twitter sucks. Really bad. Facebook sucks. You know? And, even you guys, I could be on here and you guys can chat. It says top chat on the side of the computer. What's wrong with y'all not wanting to come out and showing your beautiful face or chatting with me on here? I could write something right now and you guys won't respond. I don't understand what I've done wrong. I don't know. I feel like I've done something wrong. I keep telling my husband I feel like I'm in the way. And he says I'm not in the way, it's y'all. He said it's y'all acting up. It's not me or him. It's y'all that's acting up. And yes, I made a wrong mistake of bringing a crack core down here. Yes, it's my fault. It's not my husband's fault. It's my fault. I was the one that called my husband and told him about her. And when I brought her down here, yes, it was my fault for her bad behavior. I told her everything. She was fine with it. I don't know if it was the medicine she took before she come down here that made her go crazy or what. Yes, she was on Hawaii medicine like me. Yes, she was on drugs before she met me. But she said I was just joking about that. She said, my mom. She said her mom told her it was just a water in a needle. And yes, I loved her parents to death. I got along with them a lot. I loved them like my husband even liked them. He never said one bad thing about my having either. But I guess she wasn't raised like we were. Get our butt busted when we did something wrong, or get grounded for something I did wrong. You know, I wasn't raised like she was. Yes, her dad was a pastor, and he was a very nice man, and so was her mama. And my husband talked for him, what, 2 hours, baby? Almost 3.5 hours. And my husband is a gentleman. I mean, he is. He's very sweet, kind, loving. If you guys just give him a chance and give us a chance together as a married couple, you'll see that we're good people. We don't want to push, you know, people that are good and sweet that don't have kids. Because my husband's like, we don't need somebody with kids because, they'll be running around screaming and I won't be able to handle it. You won't be able to handle it. There ain't a good yard out here for them to be running around and we just want somebody that's, single without, kids and ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends around. If you are ours, we want you to pay more attention to us, not nobody around you, nobody talking to you. Yes, if you got family that keeps in contact with you, yes, they can text you. But when we have our time, you're going to spend the whole time with us. You're going to look at us. You're going to do things with us. We're not going to let you sleep the first time you met us. We are going to get everything out of you. We're going to drive you nuts. We're gonna ask you questions that you feel uncomfortable about. And no, we do not want to hear about drama and your past. I'm gonna make that clear. We do not want to hear about your past. You can wait a couple years after we've been together. My husband will be here to listen to you, but he does not want to hear it over and over and over again. He does not want to hear it. He said his daddy did not raise him to put up with bullshit. And he wasn't. He wasn't raised like that. And no, I wasn't raised that either. Yes, I went through some troubles, but my husband said me and Connie was like, we're the only two that he's met from Hawaii that has a good head on their shoulders and knew how to handle their situations. And he said we're a lot different than what he's met out here. You know, we need to come to a commitment, to our unicorn bestie. We want to make a commitment. We want to adopt you as our daughter and do things with you. And that's what a unicorn bestie is adopting a single woman as a daughter. Nobody on Facebook knew what a unicorn bestie is. Well, I'm going to put this on video because most people ask what a unicorn bestie is. It's somebody adopting a single woman like us that most people don't do, like my husband said. Most people don't do like what we do. We want to adopt you as our beautiful daughter. Late 20s, late 30s, only in Decatur, Tennessee, or Athens, Tennessee. That we're not taking anybody out of state because we're not going to be doing cards and money and stuff like that. So here's my husband.
Yeah, and it's probably be like probably it feels like 1,000 times already. I know it ain't been, but she asked me for help and all that stuff. I don't know. She, you know, uh, I she pulled all her bag of tricks out, tried me on all of them. I mean, every last one of them, and there's not one that I like. None. Uh, I mean, I could sit here and go over. I could go over a few things. I mean, if I was on here, this video would probably easily be 3 hours long. But just give examples. I mean, I guess it's like I said, it's too far out, too far away. There's no, the people she hung around was before I ever got with her. Some of them out of state, no car, no nothing. Yet they can go. I reckon they walk, or I don't know what they do. People take them to their, wherever they went to. Something sort of like me, been in those kind of places where you do these little things and work or whatever. In these little factory-like places for handicapped people. But I don't know. But she tried several things there. Me, she's always don't. I mean, the reason I don't have to bring up much because they wasn't nothing. I mean, when she came to me. There wasn't nothing but what she saw. There's nothing. And the one or two times that one or two of the and again, and these are people I didn't go to their house. I wasn't like my wife going to their house, staying nights. I wasn't allowed to do that. Even if I thought I could have at the time, maybe I didn't ask. It. I I had schoolwork. I liked what I had when I was a kid, and I didn't want to mess it up. Like I said, nobody thinks about all the things I could have been doing right now if things had played out the way I would have wanted them to, and I could have made certain choices. I probably would have ruined some things with my wife's here, the one I got now. But I could have punched a few more choices and dotted a few more holes there, but I didn't choose those. Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of choices that you know my family or my wife's family they don't realize. I mean, they will when they're about ready to die and about to kick the bucket. They'll be wanting something then. And, I told my wife, I said, well, we don't. I'm not gonna give it 5, 10 more years. I'm gonna do about a year or two and see. But the next one's gonna be the last one. Because I came forward, and that's why my wife was mentioning earlier. But I told her, and I set her down here and said, we're gonna have to up our game a little bit, and really. I mean, it depends on you and how you come across, how much you don't do some of the things like what she's mentioned on video. If you really are who you are and present yourself well, and a lot of that stuff I may not have to fool with, but I'm definitely going to ask some of those questions because there is some that all of us ask and should ask, and we should, like I said, whether it's my fault, her fault, or the way I like to say it's kind of even 50-50, because had I not said for her to come down here, you know, chances are, you never would have seen that person again and never would have been up there. So, yeah, I wrote letters, as I stated to her earlier. That's why I wrote letters. I asked, why in the world couldn't I have gotten somebody with a car up there? Or somebody with something better than that. There's like, I guess if you want to say, I didn't hear it in person, but I basically can paraphrase a little bit. Basically, well, I had too much going on. And I ain't got to, well, and stuff like that. I mean, I can't exactly, quote word for word, but my wife heard it from me. But, again, it's not somebody, this ain't something probably 90 something percent of people want out there. There ain't but a few of us out there that probably run into each other and probably have thoughts of it or think it might be cool but I can't my wife begs me all the time, help me with they gotta help me. If they help me then I can help everybody in it. But I don't know what to tell my wife about it. She goes back and forth about it sometimes, and I can't. That's why I say I don't try to put nothing in her head that I know ain't gonna happen or possibly won't happen, time wise or any of that. Because I mean, like I said, you take out the fact that my wife went up there that one night on behalf of someone else. If she hadn't have done that, she wouldn't knowed anything was up there. And by all rights, there should never be anybody up there anyway. It should be, like I said, any apartment, it should be just family and all that. And it should just be about it. But no, and even if we wasn't in the position that we were in, a lot of this, like I said, boils down to how both families treated us. My dad passed away, and at one point I thought, this would be kind of a cool little neat little deal if there was somebody out there that actually spoke the truth and didn't lie about being homeless and it's just if they just come out and said straight up, hey, I just moved out of my parents' house. How hard is that? You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard to do. Don't sit there and tell me in front of me that you're homeless. I know a homeless person when I pretty well see one. I mean, I could tell you a couple things didn't look right, or teeth, and some of that, but it, it wasn't it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything to make you think, oh, hey, I'm homeless. Uh, you know, Again, it's some people like the one we met up here, and like I said, I hate to keep bringing it up, but it's a lot of lessons. There's a lot of stuff in there that you won't want to repeat if you are, like me and my wife, and there's I drew this thing up on paper that I thought, hey, if you had the right circumstances and had like she mentioned, I've told her a million times. I said, yeah, it used to be a little bit fun to kind of go on these things, and they wasn't bugged. I never looked on Facebook or Twitter or nothing. I never looked at that stuff. Stuff I went on was like stuff that was on my phone. There wasn't no cards being asked. No, there was people probably 5, 10, 15 minutes from here in this local area that, and stuff. Like I said, there was several. You can make me some tea if you want to. That sounds kind of good, doesn't it? But, no, like I said, that's the last thing I'd seen was 12 years ago. And that was a little bit before my wife come, but I went to that J Festival, and I didn't like that too well. It's too hot, and it was really miserable. But it's a little different in our shoes. When you've been, when you're, a married couple, and I'd kind of seen some stuff that was, and been on some sites. I don't think a lot of people thinks about it because, like I said, you got a lot of the politic mess. You got the ghost in the sky stuff always been brought up, or the whole 9 yards about the religious stuff and all that junk. So naturally, nobody thinks of an offer quite like this. I told my wife the other day, and I'm gonna stick to it. I should have just had my wife ask her if she could text her or call her a little bit. Probably talk to her over the phone, maybe, or whatever. It wasn't like she's that far away, you know. And that way, if well, I'm just saying, if I had gone back to retrace my steps, I know what it turned out to be, and I know it was what it was. But if you take step by step, like a song by New Kids on the Block, if you basically took a baby step here and a baby step there, and it don't have to be severely long time before you do stuff, but if you go step by step, the first thing that would have gave me red flags is any combination of kids, possibly, definitely the drugs, and the past of that, like I said, I can talk just about anything, but and then I told my wife that I'd have to have papers on these people, and I'd have to have I need stuff, and I don't have that with nobody. I don't have nobody I'm seeing or going and doing anything with, or kids with nobody. So naturally, every time she puts her own reputation online, taking a chance on one of these people out here that, like I told her earlier, she can't just go on the Facebooks and all that stuff, and then these people say, "Oh, well, yeah, I remember that." Oh, come on. And if you kid, like I've said before, and I ain't trying to be mean, but if your family, your kids, and all that stuff is more important, then stick with it. I'm not gonna give 10 more people this chance. I thought maybe one more time, feller, just I told her it may get to where you just have to meet them out here and hope for the best. I mean, I remember us being up here and used to. One time she couldn't walk outside for this stuff, you know, and and people wouldn't believe all the stuff that would come out here and had several of this stuff going on. I didn't know what any of it was. I didn't know what was what or what was supposed to be in it, what the whole deal was or whatever. Uh, but my wife said as far as the one we brung up mostly, that one she said was all right, and I took her word for it. But as I told my wife, you can't help what somebody does when they come down to another place. Like I said, had she looked at everything like I was trying to get through to her, and she knew I was right. She'd wait till a few minutes later or 30 minutes after the fact, and then she'd come in there and say, "Oh yeah, you're right." Uh, it's crack horse Susan thing, but like I said, it's just that easy to influence to be on drugs and all that stuff. I mean, Hawassi medicine or not, I mean, I'm just telling you my track record with anybody, whether they I mean, her mom and daddy, I think, raised her up pretty good from what I can tell. I just think that for one thing, she didn't have nothing in common with me at all, hardly. And kids, that was, had they been like the ones I'd seen when my dad's second wife was around, I couldn't have had better kids to have been around. But you got them running and jumping and screaming and yelling and all this whole 9 yards, this whole deal inside the house, trying to get hurt on purpose. That's what'll happen most likely, and then somebody be at the emergency room, right? And then how we gonna get there? Crack whore don't have a car. And I guarantee you, I'm certain of this when I say this, almost definitely, unless it was life threatening, her damn parents wasn't going to just come out here and drive their self out here late at night over something stupid like that. They had no respect whatsoever. And she's, like I said, the adult in the room. She's the one opening her legs up and had these kids with these people she claims one of them raped her or whatever. Well, why do you think I'm preaching about? You know, I was able to keep my hands to myself. Everything else, I told my wife there wasn't no woman to hardly look at in my classroom. They was all either ugly or they just wasn't really interesting. A lot of the times, and most of the time and I'm not going to sit there and say I thought this ugly, but I'm just saying they wasn't like Britney Spears, or one of them youngins off TV that everybody foams at the mouth over. But it's I'm saying I don't know what to tell my wife when it comes to her dealings with people, and then my dealings. It's different. I mean, when she's dealing with them, they seem okay for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever she's doing with them, holding hands with them, whatever it was, and whoever. But to come down here and then they start showing out. At least that's what I've seen as of recent. As about a year ago, had The few things I've had, like I said, I wish I never met nobody around here. You know, it ain't a good feeling to have what few things, some of this I didn't have any of this figured out till about 4 years ago, or in my head anyway. And when we had some of this down here, it was just people's stuff that's already, you know, going over, or however they're already with somebody, or they had something. And, you know, I mean, like I said, had that one down here, old Felicia or whatever it was, and she come down here on because he wouldn't pay attention to her, so she come down here and thought it was kind of neat, or something, because he kind of knew me from school and used to be, she come down here and one night she got a little flirty with me, and my wife at the time didn't know what to think. She probably, like I said, I look back at it now, had goddamn if I'd had this thought in my head, if we'd have had something to offer or something, yeah, maybe we could have just took that. I mean, at least she did like my music. I'll say that she at least liked my music, so I was able to play something and sing or something. And that's what kind of got her started as on me. But and like I said, but this latest one, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, or what the deal was. My wife's trying to do a good thing. She went out of her way to mention something about being my Valentine's presents or something, and one of the things she told her or something, and all this stuff. And I mean, she came in, and I remember this much. I remember she came in, she smiled a little bit. The only thing she said, say, I'm tired, or something like that, and said, I'm gonna go to bed. I've been up, hadn't got no sleep or where it was. She just slept like 2 days, whatever it was, and so about the third day, that's when. And like I said, I don't mind hearing about the past and stuff somewhat, but I just, if I've said my piece, about it and everything and everything, I would expect that you start to move on, and let's go with something else. Let's see what else there is to know about you or something. I just some of these people, like I said, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if these people ever think about, what you know, do these people that call these people and check up on these people, do they realize? Do they not? You wonder if they ever think about and do what did I actually do any good? Did I, Because I'm gonna tell you my answer to that is obviously, and I'd have to say that they have to know that they can't be told everything. Just like I said, and my wife wouldn't do that. I certainly wouldn't do that. Crack horse herself wouldn't do that, and no nobody ain't gonna sit there unless you want to, a three ring circus and the never, end to go from bad to worse. I mean, you ain't gonna tell these people, whether in person or over the phone, these counselors, if you're having a bad day or not. I mean, you might tell them a small, little bitty portion of it, but you ain't gonna tell them the big major stuff. That's just roll of thumb right there. That's you know. So again, I'm not a kid hater. It's just honestly, it'd be much easier if there wasn't anything like that. 'Cause, you could pay attention to the person, and you could see you know what it's about or whatever. Like I said, I think you could probably spare a couple nights if you needed to, but I certainly wouldn't suggest it. As far as moving their stuff over here, but if anybody took us up on this offer, but if I can help it, I'll try to find some way. If we have to, we can go over there or something. If they just ain't pure old nobody over there, and you're just sitting over there by yourself, maybe we can walk over there or whatever. If you got a car or something, you can come over here and we can all go over there. Like I said, there, ain't really the ideal place to be. And but no, it's just it's, like I said, all that stuff is just bad timing. If I'd met this person that she just brung down here last year, if I'd met her 5, 10 years earlier, maybe I'd got more out of it, you know. But everything was just bad timing, and supposedly this person that she's going on about. Well, she said, well, it's been over a year, Derek, since I mentioned this to anybody. I just wanted you to get to know me. Well, like I said, I said my piece about it. I wasn't yelling and screaming at the first time or two. I was trying to tell her, but one thing I ain't gonna do is beat it like a dead horse and keep repeating myself. And I'm gonna get louder and I'm gonna get right. And that's but old crack horse Susan's parents, obviously, this dad of hers said she'd pulled this shit before. I asked him, or he told me it's over the phone. I didn't have to ask him, but he said, well, she's pulled it before. So, I don't appreciate being called Uncle Derek, or my wife don't especially appreciate, being Aunt Jessie or nothing. You ain't got nothing to turn up these kids. No money. I didn't like I said, I didn't lay down with these people and have these kids. If they were my own kids, I'd make sure they minded. I know a good kid when I see one. And I ain't gonna say the oldest one was a bad one, but that goddamn 3-year-old was about got the best of me. I give her a break. She's 3 years old. Somebody might be out there saying, well, Wednesdays when she gets 13, 14 years old, it's like the little brat over here, Star, they're gonna know why. And I won't be there, trust me. Because if this person and these damn kids out, if these same kids and this same person come walk down here, they can beg till it's no tomorrow, and I'm not taking them back. That was a miserable thing. I can't believe somebody would want to put that much, on somebody that's handicapped and don't have a whole lot as it is. And like I said, she could have said no. I gave her a couple times to leave the house. And I told her, look, I don't know what you want. For all intents and purposes, I've said this on video before, but I felt like it's just miserable. I didn't feel like there was anything to gain from it. Just wasn't nothing in it. I mean, it was, it just, stuff being rambling, just going on about, let me go see my friends. Let me go do this. And I told my wife, I can just sit here and watch these old movies and these TV shows and look at these kids out here on commercials, or while I'm watching a ball game, if I'm going to watch, I ain't going to just sit here when somebody's in person. I'm not just going to sit here and just look at them and not say nothing. I mean, if you say something and it's about your past or whatever, and I'd tell anybody this, it's your problem. But I can't help it if it ain't the way you want it to be said, or I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm sure my wife knew that. I don't know how much crack whore knew about my attitude, but apparently she didn't know a whole lot, or at least she didn't let on if she did. But she didn't like it. Let's just put it that way. But I'm straightforward. I tell it like it is. That's a warning label ought to be put on me, because I don't. I'm just too. I've raised myself up the way I've raised myself up. My dad and everybody else had a hand in it, and I'm just not gonna sit here and let me or my wife get run over by somebody else that's already got 10,000 things they want to do and want to go do and see or whatever. It'd be a lot easier, and the way I drew it up, everything goes the way I wanted it to go. If there's really somebody legitimately out here that didn't have a whole lot going on, it'd be a lot easier. I wouldn't mind going through a few hurdles. And like I said, we know everybody ain't gonna be perfect. Ain't nobody gonna be, you know. But I mean, these people can beat what they're hearing on this video. And I mean, only the stupid people's gonna stick up for them. Only, you know. So I mean, I did everything I could possibly do. That everything my wife's ever told me about, want me to check out. I did everything I could possibly do. I have a quick fuse. I have a short one, and I don't take very much when it comes to people's stupidity and nonsense and the way they look at things. Everybody judges everybody. It's what I said. It'd be hard to believe if I hadn't seen it from my own eyes and experienced what I've experienced. But it's she met all these things. She met all this stuff. Before she met me, she just thought it'd be nice to have. Like I said, she probably if I'd stayed out of it, some of it she might have got to keep or something, and might have enjoyed just texting them and hearing a call from once in a while. I don't know. But she wanted to tell them about me and some of these people, and she wanted to be honest. So, they just didn't ever seem like they supportive of it, didn't, and no matter who they was, where they's at. So, it goes to show. But no, this ain't a normal offer that my wife acknowledged. I've told her this many times when I've been home here at the house. Not just anybody goes out there and offers to do something like this for somebody like this. I mean, this has to be a legit, almost perfect fit. From stuff you like to do to what you. I mean, the eating stuff could be different, but a lot of this stuff has to be, liked, and has to be something that you're going to get something out of somebody. I've seen virtually no commitment. I've had my times where I look at it, and sometimes my wife's blamed me and I blamed her just as much. But at the end of the day, I've told her it really ain't you and me. It's more of them. I mean, I ain't gonna beat nobody over the head if they want to go see whoever they want to go see. I ain't gonna tell you can't. I mean, but all I'm saying is don't expect them to like me like they supposedly like you, kind of thing. I have to know that for my own self. I have to know that. If I like them, I'll tell you. And if they like me well enough, they might beat me to the punch. But that's another thing. Old crack whore Susan, I go tell a bunch of her friends up there, drug or pill buddies or whatever. She wanted them all come down here, all these damn girls come down here, and I don't know what for. It wasn't like I said. If they'd came down here, maybe she'd shut the hell up. Maybe that would have cured some of that problem. I don't know. I doubt it, but I'm just saying. She sat there. Oh, you can come down here anytime, and I didn't say no to it, but you didn't see them jumping, did you? I don't care if I had a 9 to 5 job. I'd come down here if I was told, hey, I'm a friend of this person. These people stole me. These people are okay, but whoever this person was, I knew, said, hey, I'd come down here at these people's house. I wouldn't care a bit. So I went and said hello and introduced myself to somebody. But no, I just, I've said it 100 times. It seems like now, but I was just supposed to sit there and watch them, say nothing. Yeah, I might as well take my voice box out and everything else. I just don't say nothing. Everybody's feeling get hurt. Like I said, my wife said earlier, well, all the time somebody, wants something when they know they got to do something, they ain't wanting to help you. They just because they have to. But I ain't wanting no nurses or nothing. Them, nothing. Nobody do nothing with them. I'll just, I'll let whatever happens happen. But I'm not, I don't play as nice as it is already as them people down at that clinic knows. I told my wife we have to watch what we say around them. And any little thing they'll take and twist it and tell you said this and you said that. And I know what I said. I don't know whether they got cameras in there, but I'll tell you this: they need one. If they don't, well, I guarantee you, in the rooms, because I know exactly what I said that day. But anyway, no, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if everybody liked everybody, we'd all be in trouble. That's what I'm saying. So I ain't trying to just throw you under the bus, but you've got to be a match. We let ourselves down and not checking some of this stuff out a little bit better. I could have asked some of the parents some questions. I had a whole opportunity right there while I was sitting in there. Her dad had mentioned, and I mentioned this before, but her dad, when I went over there at one time, and last time we had this nowhere, he mentioned, he said, "Are you sure about this? It was going on like that, and I should have, I should have thought a little bit more about it." But at the same time, I thought, well, she could have pulled one of them fucking stunts like she did over here, and that's the last thing they need at their age and all that stuff. But now, if something happens to them, and I see these goddamn kids, I don't care if they 13, 14, or whatever it is. By the time she comes right back around here, they can sit out there and they can starve, they can thirst to death. Because they ain't getting no clothes, they ain't getting nothing from me. That's the way them kids mistreated me and my wife and was acting up in here. And the way she was going on about, I couldn't tell them, well, if they're in my house and they're in my wife's hair and they're in their house, that's why I said what I said. I never said I was their daddy or whatever, but when they're in anyone's house, when you let them kids be watched by somebody, that's what you got to do. That's why I was taught. You have the same rules in your own parents' house as you'd go, and they'd expect you to do the same thing if they took you over to someone else's house. So, ain't no reason to be yelling and screaming and jumping and hollering. And when you're in the house, you're in the house. It's different rules. I mean, if you're outside, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're bored or not. Like I said, me and my wife make this stuff do. We had no choice. And she goes on about it, but we don't sit here and beat each other's brains out. It is what it is. But the last time, if I hear anybody saying anything about meeting her off Facebook, I'm going to turn my head and I'm going to learn. Unless I see them front and center And we've met this person several times, been over to their house, or if they've been over here and visited or whatever. Like I said, it might take 2 or 3 months. You probably don't want to just throw everything on at once. Like I said, that's not what I'm going to do, but I'm just saying, and it needs to be at least a couple months so you know what's going on. Like I said, there's a lot of things that me and my wife have spoke of on here, that we like somebody that's got our stuff, some of our baseball and music. She likes her reborn dolls and stuff here at the house. She does art some, she'll color, and every now and then we'll watch wrestling. But a lot of stuff I don't, I could find, if I could have found some way to compromise with some of these I've seen, I would have, if anybody would have found it, it'd been me, but they just wasn't willing to do it. And like I said, they tried to tell you different, but she did it. I mean, I wish I had video of it, because I'd certainly have it out here. But because like I say, it's just the way I was raised. I thought we got a good, pretty good, neat little deal. But instead of this person wanting help, I think she won't see what damage she can do in between somebody's marriage or whatever she's trying to do, And thankfully, me and my wife has been together long enough. We ain't like some of these couples, and so we kind of knew what she's trying to do. And I think at the time, my wife, like I said, when it first happened, it's a little hard to convince her. But I know in the end, we made the right choice. Throwing her back out there. Like I told her dad, and I spoke to him a lot. After it was over with, her brother came up and apologized that day when he came back up here for a minute, and all that. And there's, I told her dad then. I said, well, I hope she don't put nobody else through this mess. Because I think at least one thing I can say, and I hope this is true. I hope I've taught her a lesson. And I hope I've taught her kids a lesson. And maybe they'll mind. I won't be there to see it or watch it go down, and neither will my wife. But that's why I was exempt trying to find anybody with kids or whoever has any kids, unless they're just good as gold and don't cause any trouble. I can't tell you that I'm going to take that package. It does matter what's in it, because you have to know what you're dealing with. You can throw a hand out there. Remember, my wife can all day long. But, it's up to you how it goes. If you want to go good, it'll go good. Trust me, if it goes good, there'll be all kinds of stuff that'll happen. You'll see smiles on faces. We'll have all kinds of good times and all that stuff. Like I said, we just never felt like we could do anything for anybody that we've been put in front of. Like I said, if I try to tell any of my family or anyone else that all that stuff that's happened to us, whether it's in person or over the internet before, they'd have a hard time believing it, and they wouldn't believe it. But, if it hadn't happened to me and my wife, I wouldn't believe it much either. But it's there. So, it's one of the things where we just got to do a better job. We got to make sure that we're in control here. And not in a bad way, but we need to be able to protect ourselves and protect the other person. And if something don't feel right and they can't seem to wrap their head around it, we need to depart before it gets too bad. Say, look, here's the door. I hope that don't happen, but I'm saying that'd be the last one that gets anything because it's too much. I mean, it's been a little over a year now, so I think if there's anything out there, it should be right now. We've had a few bad ones, and it's time for a good one, something that could last for the rest of our life and have, and then like I said, there'll be nothing else after. But yeah, somebody in their mid 20s, probably on up in their 30s, something like that would be fairly good. Young enough for still do something and have something. And go out there and get our energy out. Be like we used to be. We ain't looking for nobody in the nursing home, but no, we'd like to make it a lifelong commitment thing and have, and unicorn bestie thing can be whatever you want it to be, I guess. But our version of it compared to some people's can be a little different depending on somebody wanting money or whatever. But we're not about that. We're not after nobody's money or nothing like that. But we can't help what we've been through, and you probably can't help what you've been through. But if you can't take accountability for your own decisions and accept accountability for them, then you're never going to get nowhere with me or my wife much at all, and it just gets you sent packing back home. So I'm throwing out a fair warning out here. If you bring anything up, make sure you know what you're bringing up is going to be all right with you before you start bringing it up, because I will give you my opinion on that. And so if it ain't something you want to bring up, like my wife said, don't bring it up. We can wait a while. It ain't gonna kill us. I told her the other day I'd rather see somebody with a smile on their face having a good time. They can tell me about whatever they want to tell me when we get to know them real good. And we can have some talk like that or whatever once we kind of get to know everything and been around them enough. My wife understands that now, and I think she understood it then. It hurt, having to see it go. But had everything went the way I drew it up, as contrary to what who will have you believe, I wasn't trying to boss her around. She came up in here, as I recalled, everything that happened. She's one brought up about wanting to go see her friends. Oh, let me go see this. Let me go do that. Well, he's already doing it. Like I said, I was just letting her know. Don't expect them to like me or my wife the same as they claim to like you. You know what I'm saying? I'd prefer not to hear any of them. But I've always asked, why couldn't we have gotten something different and something better? And like I said, it's just it wasn't normal. It wasn't right, and it's not because it's against my beliefs or my wife's beliefs. We had our mind and our heart in the right place. She didn't have these kind of people right here. They just don't have it. They won't give. They'll sit there and they'll tell you what you want to hear and a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, but their heart and their mind ain't in the right place. It's elsewhere. It's on planet Mars or somewhere. So yeah, that's why we got mistreated. That's why you know uh, it'll be a little while. I hope not much longer though. But I'm hopeful that I told my wife, if worst comes to worst, we'll have to get to where we just hopefully they'll come up to us when we're out and about or something if there is something. But it's up to y'all. I mean, we put videos there all the time, every once in a while and stuff. Put our numbers out and where we're at and everything. So I don't need to beating that drum. So we got stuff over here and that we didn't have to do, but we wanted to. And like I said, biggest thing is the ring, and like I said, it's not 100% real, but it's as close to real as it'll get. Uh, it was a lot of money. It's almost $900 or whatever, and she don't want to sell it because if she does, she's like me. She'll cry and she'll get to thinking about it, and then it'll hurt her. And then I told her, I said, well, we don't want to sell it. I said, if we have to, we'll just have to starve. If we don't have nothing to eat, can't depend on nobody out here in Decatur. Lord, I don't call these places up because I want to or whatever. And it's not like I like begging, or it's not like I am begging for food. It's just it comes off that way because somebody makes up a thing like it was at the diner. So, I call about every day wanting something. I don't know. There at one like week and a half or whatever it was, whenever, I called a couple of times. Well, I called one time and told them it might have to be for about 2 days till we got her checked. If they mind to help us, and they didn't mind then. And then, every once in a while we get one of these ruts because they ain't nobody. And I don't want to get in my family stuff, Call my family. I told her if we go back doing that, then we just stuck in that same rut again, and it won't take them a week to screw something else back up. I know what's in that already. I done been there and played that song and dance, so it wouldn't be worth our time or nothing. That my family and her family's had their time. They could have made some different choices and could have looked at us in a different light. They didn't want to. They want to go out there and they want to do whatever they want to do. So that's what we did. That's what my grandmother got. That's what everybody got in my family. That's what everybody's getting on her side. So when they get where they're in a nursing home, or when they ain't having as much fun as they used to, they'll probably look back on stuff like this and they'll be sitting there, as and they'll probably be sitting there saying, man, I wish I had done this differently. I wish I'd done this or that or whatever. But, no, like I said, it's a lot of stuff. I could go on here, probably make a 3 or 4 hour video. Definitely. I'm already over an hour. But, no, it's just one of these things where we're not trying to be, like I say, not trying to be mean or anything, or anything, and not, in no way. No anybody misunderstand. They ain't trying to tell anybody what to do. There ain't nobody has to do anything. So, if it don't get done, it don't get done, and it's just something that looked good on a piece of paper, and at least they would say, hey, we made the offer. It was out there for a while, and if it's taken, it's taken. If it's not, it's not. But I don't have no rights to nobody. My wife don't. I don't have papers to nobody. I don't have no kids, no rights to anything. So, if you want it, and everything is good with you, and you want, like I said, we got a little certificate thing we bought, so if we actually do, find somebody, we'll write it down, put it up on the wall or something. If you want your name changed to ours or whatever, or if you want to go about, doing that, we could go there when we get there on that. If you wanted to do that, and everything and all this. But and as far as the ring thing, like I said before, we'll just have our own little deal and have a ceremony thing, or a big old thing of our own, and won't worry about doing anything with courthouses or nothing like that, or you know like I said, it's a good offer. It's a nice, decent offer. Like I told my wife, almost anybody out there would take it, except for some snob or some rich bastard or somebody that just wants to be mean. But almost anybody would like this offer, would like to be treated well, and would like to be, you know, sitting there watching something with us and hugs and kisses or whatever, cuddling up with them. Like my wife does. She likes it when I rub her head, gives her back massages and stuff like that. Like I said, this whole deal would be nice if it's the right person. It ain't about what color you are or what your religion is or politic stuff. I mean, my gosh, as long as I ain't get bit over the head with it. If I can find a way to compromise with you on it, I'll find a way. But you gotta have me a little bit of room there. But it's like I told my wife that my family knew this. There was a time when I used to not even cuss. I wouldn't even do anything. I'd stop or censor myself. And people try to blame Stone Cold or try to blame one of these other. Well, you hear it on the movies and you hear it all the time on TV anyways. What's the difference? And I'm not trying to say that's what it is either, but I'm just saying if you was going to make a case, movies, music, anything out there's got it. I can't understand why YouTube and all that stuff, and you listen to Jim Cornette and all that stuff, sometimes you'll hear beep, beep. It's like, come on, get real, man. It's, I just tell it like it is. That whatever comes out, comes out. So, but no, if nothing happens, nothing happens. But hopefully, one of these days, very soon, hopefully something will come out here and make it known. And we'll see you soon. Bye.